Hi students, welcome to session 2 of water and its importance. Students, in today's session we will discuss about uses of water. Now, as we discussed about the importance to water, and we also studied that water is an important natural resource. And the most important benefit of water is that it is consumed by every person living on earth, and it can also prevent human beings from many diseases. Like it can also prevent dehydration in human beings, that is loss of water. It can also prevent damages, injuries and deaths when it is used as a fire extinguisher. Other than these uses, human beings also use water for washing, food processing, recreation and other purposes. So in this complex society, water use is varied from municipal and agricultural to mining and other industrial uses. And today's session we will discuss about these broad categories of water use. For example, municipal water use includes diverse activities from plant watering to toilet flushing. So, the cost of water is also very important. It is an important consideration when analyzing water use. So there are various uses of water. Various uses of water are like that it is used for drinking purpose, first of all. Then it is used for washing, bathing, cooking, etc. It is also used for building, construction, or any type of construction. It is also used for generating or producing electricity. So, there are various uses of water. Even it is used for the generation of steam for industrial use and electricity generation, for hydroelectricity, and for the manufacture of hydrogen, oxygen, and it is also considered as a universal solvent. It is also used as an irrigational purpose. So water is used for many purposes, right? So let us see our introductory slide, that is uses of water. Yes. Water is used in agriculture for irrigating farmlands, and it is also the source of power for the production of hydroelectricity. Here you can see a beautiful image which has shown that here is water and it is the source of power for the production of hydroelectricity. How electricity can be generated with the help of water. So basically, besides agriculture, water is used for many purposes, including growing crops, producing copper, generating electricity, watering the lawns, keeping clean, drinking and recreation. And so this balancing the water budget comes down to increasing the supply or decreasing the demand. Reducing demand involves reducing how much water each person uses, limiting the number of people using water, or replacing some uses of water with other uses. So to understand what these choices are, we must first understand how water has been used in the past and how it is used today. There are three major groups of water users, right? In homes and businesses, in agricultural interests and in industry, even including mining. So the increase in municipal water use during the 1980s was offset by decreasing agricultural use, with total water use in some area named as Tucson holding steady water during this period, which was about 275,000 acre-feet. So agricultural use has risen since 1993 that, coupled with rising municipal use and pushed total water use to many acre-feet by 1997. And many people think water as an unlimited resource. Nevertheless, only 1% of all the world's water can be used for drinking, and nearly 97% of world's water is salty or otherwise undrinkable, and the other 2% is locked away in ice caps and glaciers. So there is no new water. So we are using the same water the dinosaurs used millions of years ago. So there is nothing new water, or as such new water available on earth. It is the same water, but the needs has increased. Needs have increased. Besides being essential for life, water is also used for many other purposes. In India, about 70% of the total water is available, or it is used for agriculture. Then 20 to 22% is used by industries, and only 8% is used for personal or domestic needs. So basically, this is a pie chart that gives the percentage of water that it is used for agricultural needs, industrial needs, and for domestic needs. So now let us learn more about the various uses of water. Yes. First one is agricultural needs. Students, the use of water for agriculture has changed the production of crops dramatically in the 20th century. Like, agricultural use of water accounts for nearly 70% of the water used throughout the world, and the majority of this water is used for irrigation. Here you can see the beautiful image of the crops being grown in the farm, in field. So agricultural use of water actually accounts for nearly 70% of the water, and the majority of this water is used for irrigation. What it is used for? Yes, irrigation. During the 1970s, the construction of irrigation systems dramatically increased. Its rate of growth began to decrease in both developed and developing countries in the 1980s. And an increase in irrigation development guarantees an increase in crop production in many countries. So basically, irrigation allows the land that does not receive enough precipitation annually to become land that can be used for productive agriculture. Even the Indian agricultural production in most parts of the country is closely related to skillful and wise water management practices. Like here, most of the agricultural practices in India are confined to few monsoon months. So we can say that Indian agricultural production in most parts of the country is related to skillful and wise water management practices. What happens that during this monsoon season, India is usually endowed with generous rainfall. Although not infrequently, this bountiful monsoon turns into a terror, causing uncontrollable floods in parts of our country. So in a matter of antithesis, this every few years the monsoon is erratic and deficient, leading to drought and the possibility of famine. So this explains the inextricable link between Indian agriculture and effective water management practices, which are known across different parts of India since the ancient times. Often people farm in a place where enough rain falls during the year to water the plants just with rainfall. And farmers don't have to worry about the plants getting enough rain. That's called dry farming. Yes, that is called dry farming. Because the farmers don't have to carry water to the plants. But in other places, it hardly rains at all. Farmers can't rely just on the rainfall to water their crops, like in Arabian Peninsula or like Egypt. They have to find some way of getting water from the river to their fields, and that's called wet farming. This is just for your knowledge, students. And the way they get water from the river is called as irrigation. So there are lots of different ways to get water from the river to the fields. One way is just to carry it yourself in buckets, and plenty of people irrigated this way in the ancient and medieval periods. But it's very hard work carrying water in buckets, and you can't carry very much even if you work very hard. Even a donkey or an ox can't carry enough water to irrigate big fields. So whenever they can, people use some kind of machine to help them carry the water. Like in ancient times, the women were pulling water up from the river and to their irrigation canal with ropes, and they used to hang the bucket between two ropes. But it's still hard and tiring work. So often people use some kind of machine, which is also called as lever, a long wooden pole with a bucket at one end, so people can hold the other end of the pole, and they can lower the bucket into the water, and then they can raise it again and swing it around and dump it into the canal that is a little higher up, and that carries the water to the fields. Or sometimes people also use a water wheel to lift the water up and dump it into canal. That way the water can power the lifting and as well as feeding the crops. So in this way, agricultural needs are fulfilled. Secondly, there are industrial needs too, like industries that produce metals, wood, paper, chemicals, gasoline, oils, and most other products all use water in some part of their production process. All factories use a large amount of water every day as raw material for cleaning, for heating, cooling, for generating electricity, for example, water turbines. So the amount of water required depends on the kind and size of the factory, what is being manufactured, and many other factors too. So, industry depends on water much like agriculture, and domestic households also depend on water. Industrial reliance on water makes it essential to preserve water in every aspect and makes sure that water pollution is kept at minimal levels. So total industrial water use in the world is about 22%. How much? Yes, 22%. With high-income countries, that means the developed countries using 59% of water, and low-income countries means developing countries using a minuscule of 8%. Your minuscule means minute or very less amount of water. So, industries that rely on clean water use municipal water, or they have their own facilities on site to do some water treatment to ensure the water's quality. And the food industry requires clean water, so there is no health risk from the food it produces. Nobody wants to drink a soda made with contaminated water, do you? No. Even the paper mills use millions of gallons of water to manufacture paper. And if the water has too much sediment or too many chemicals, the quality of the paper could suffer or machinery could be damaged. So for other industries, water is the key to production, but it doesn't necessarily have to be clean. For example, power plants and steel mills use large volumes of water as coolant for their equipment. For those types of industrial uses, water doesn't need to meet the same high standards of cleanliness like in food industry. So industrial water needs to be treated before it's returned to the water cycle. Like treatment may remove chemicals used in manufacturing or change the water's temperature. Industries that discharge wastewater into surface water resources like rivers or streams. Here you can see an industry which is placed near water. They must have a special permit from the government. In exchange for the permit, industries agree to treat the wastewater so that it meets water quality standards. Instead of handling treatment on their own, most industries choose to use their community's wastewater treatment plant. So the industries that produce metals, wood and paper products, chemicals, gasoline and oils, and those invaluable crabber utensils which you use to get your ring out of the garbage disposal are major users of water. Probably every manufactured product uses water during some part of their production process. Like industrial water use includes water used for such purposes as fabricating, processing, washing, diluting, cooling, or transporting a product, or incorporating water into a product, or for sanitation needs within the manufacturing facility. So some industries that use large amounts of water produce such commodities as food, paper, chemicals, refined petroleum, or primary metals. So that's what is all about the industry needs, which is fulfilled by using water. And the third one is the domestic or personal needs. Means water is used for personal or domestic needs also. So students, as world population is constantly growing, the demand of water is increasing. Luxuries of domestic uses of water have become a necessity to people in their homes. And we also need water to drink. So what do we call that water which is clean and which is used for drinking? Yes, water that is suitable for drinking is called potable water. So we need water for this personal use also. Personal use means that is for drinking. So water that is suitable for drinking is called potable water. And we also need water to bathe, to wash clothes and dishes, to clean our house, and to water plants. So thousands have lived without love, but not one without water. A very famous quote which was once said by W.H. Auden. Where there is water, there is life. And life exists around numerous uses of water, which makes it important for survival and luxury. So, remember that domestic water is normally characterized by its use inside and outside the home, like washing the dishes, cooking a meal, laundry, bathing, watering the lawn or garden, or washing cars and other household activities. So remember that in whatever way we use water, either it's used for bathing or washing or anything, all this adds up to quite a lot, between 25 and 50 liters per person per day water is used. In a typical home, approximately 50% of water is used in the bathroom, and the toilet makes up 26%, while the shower and sink use 23%, and outside of the house, 35% of water is used for lawn and garden care. So there are various needs, there are various uses of water for personal domestic needs. And due to these individual and personal habits, domestic use of water is increasing day by day. Of all the social and natural crises we humans face, the water crisis is one of that lies at the heart of our survival and that of our planet Earth. No region will be spared from the impact of this crisis, which touches every facet of life, from the health of children to the ability of nations to secure food for their citizens. So global consumption of water has also increased twice as much as the population during the past 20 years. The demands for access for fresh water are unattainable to more than 1 billion people. So it is increasing actually day by day. So apart from these uses, water is also used for transportation and recreation and as a huge transfer fluid. It also regulates the climate of a place and provides homes to many animals. Like in transportation, waterways are used, and there is also one thing, that is the boat race. Boat race is one of the favorite sports in Kerala. So this is also one of the sports which uses water. Even for drinking, as we discussed, drinking is very common. The human body is anywhere from 55 to 78% of water depending on body size. So to avoid from dehydration, temperature, the precise amount depends on the level of activity, humidity, as well as other factors. So most of this is ingested, or we can say that for drinking, most of water is ingested through foods or beverages other than drinking straight water. So it is not clear how much water intake is needed by the healthy people, though most of them agree that 8 to 10 glasses of water daily in a minimum to maintain proper hydration is required. So humans require water that does not contain too many impurities. Some solutes are acceptable and even described for taste enhancement and to provide needed electrolytes, but clean water is very much necessary for us. It is also used as a heat transfer fluid. That means water and steam are used as a heat transfer fluids in diverse heat exchange systems due to its availability and high heat capacity, both as a coolant and for heating. So in almost all electric power plants, water is a coolant which vaporizes and drives steam turbines to drive generators. Water can also be used in the nuclear industry. Even it is also used as recreation. Means humans use water for many recreational purposes as well as for exercising and for sports, as we discussed as in boat race. And some of these also include living, boating, water skiing and swimming. In addition, some sports such as ice skating and ice hockey are played on ice, which is a solid form of water. Even the water parks, beaches and lakesides, they are popular places for people to go to relax there and enjoy recreation. So many find the sound of flowing water to be calming too. And some keep fish and other life in aquariums or ponds for companionship and fun. Humans also use water for snow sports like snowboarding or skiing, which requires the water to be frozen. And people may also use water for play, fighting such as with water balloons, water guns and snowballs. They will also make fountains as well as use water in their public or private decorations. So basically water is used in many ways, and there are many important uses of water. Right, children? Right students? So that was all about water, uses of water, as in for agricultural needs, industrial needs, or personal or domestic needs. So in the next session we will continue with different states of water. We will learn about different states of water, and I hope you liked today's session learning about the uses of water, and hope you got it that saving water is necessary for us now. Alright, so meet you in next session. Till then, enjoy